The nationwide immigration crackdown figures to affect some industries more than others, construction, food service. But one less obvious industry with a huge footprint here in Arkansas is worried about hitting roadblocks.
THV 11's Maya Ellison spoke with trucking industry lobbyists to learn whether we could feel the effects of the crackdown and the prices we pay for all those goods truckers deliver.
The state's Trucking Association reported that 92.2% of manufactured goods are transported by trucks. Making that possible are the drivers behind the wheel. But recent legislation, like Act 604, has put stricter regulations on drivers in Arkansas.
Since June 25th, they put 279 drivers out of service for not being able to meet that requirement.
Those numbers have opened up questions as to whether or not freight companies could feel the impact here in the state. Arkansas Trucking Association President Shannon Newton says that's not exactly the case.
The overall economic dynamic in our industry right now is one of oversupply. So our industry is actually looking at almost 3 years of recession-like environment.
And because there are more drivers than needed, Newton says driver availability hasn't been an issue. Instead, she says the main focus is making sure that qualifications are met.
So our position on immigration is really indifferent to that. Like, our position is the driver qualified? Is he medically qualified? Is he safe? Does he have the proper training and the credentials? And so across the board, you see these efforts to try to make sure that everybody's playing by the same set of rules.
Newton says that also includes operations like carriers who legally employ visa drivers from Mexico and Canada. The concern, however, is making sure policies don't harm those who are following the law.
From our perspective as an association, it's making sure that the employers are informed. Like, what is the expectation? How do they become compliant? How do they ensure that the drivers that they're hiring do have the appropriate credentials?
Steve Good with the Arkansas Retailers Association shares a similar view. He says while driver shortages aren't being felt in the state, they hope to ease concerns.
You know, we're hiring folks that there are no issues with, so there is no fear in our retail stores. You know, we don't see it from the wholesalers that we deal with, and even those that ship direct from the manufacturer, we're not seeing any issues there.
In Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Maya, thank you. Now, the Trucking Association represents major corporate carriers based here in Arkansas. We did try to get some input from independent truckers, but we didn't get a call back before we went on air. If we do, we will include it in the digital version of the story.